The girl noticed something strange during her date. On the floor of her boyfriend's house, there was a drop of fresh blood out of nowhere. While her boyfriend went to pour some wine, she crouched down in confusion to take a closer look. To her surprise, the blood was coming from her own body. What a buzzkill. First time meeting her rich boyfriend, and her period decided to show up uninvited. She had waited a long time for this opportunity, so she made up an excuse to go to the bathroom. That he was bitten by a big dog when he was a kid. It took 84 stitches to save his life, so he had been afraid of dogs ever since, but he still really loved cats. Hearing that, Daisy thought his reaction was understandable, and found him even more adorable. Then she followed the man back to his mansion. Even though her body wasn't fit for intense activity, Daisy was still ready to please him. But just as she stepped inside the room, the man behind her gave a strange smile. As the door closed, a gut-wrenching scream came from inside. When the man was about to catch up, Daisy ran barefoot to escape. She ran all the way from Dongyang City to Chrysanthemum Garden. There she finally saw a few kind citizens at the intersection. Seeing Daisy covered in wounds, they finally called the police for her. But what Daisy didn't expect was that the police didn't come to protect her. Instead, they arrested her for violating the liquor ban. Still, at least she was safe from that psycho. Inside the cell with Daisy, there was also a prostitute. She asked Daisy why she was locked up. Daisy honestly told her everything that happened that night. But after hearing the story, the woman suddenly became terrified. Her best friend had died in that man's hands. And most importantly, that man had a strange ability. He could control anyone he wanted to control. Sure enough, not long after, the police opened the cell and brought in the last person Daisy wanted to see. Daisy hid in the corner trembling. The man told her he thought Daisy would make a great prey, but she was so weak, it took no effort to take her down. Now there was one more game to play. He would let Daisy go, and they'd play a game of cat and mouse. If Daisy could survive the night, she would be safe. If not, she'd face death as punishment. Even though Daisy didn't want to leave the cell, the police still forced her out. The hallway walls were covered with missing girl posters. It was clear that many others had suffered the same fate. The driver even noticed. She didn't have any money on her, but he didn't kick her out, because he had seen girls like her before, each one running for their lives in fear. Daisy begged the driver to take her to her boss's house, because the rich man was introduced by her boss. Soon the driver stopped in front of the boss's home. Seeing Daisy covered in wounds, the boss looked shocked. He told Daisy to sit down, and asked his wife to make some tea. Daisy calmly told the boss everything that had happened. He found it unbelievable. How could such a polite rich man suddenly attack Daisy? He wanted to call the police right away, but Daisy stopped him. She told him if the police knew her location, the psycho would find her. She only needed to stay at his house until morning to be safe. The boss had no choice but to agree and let Daisy stay for the night. The psycho would track her down easily.
Clean as best you can. You will just survive night.
What's going on?
The boss suddenly barged in, realizing they had been exposed. Daisy quickly ran away. The boss glared viciously at his wife, then chased after Daisy. Luckily, she stopped a bus on the street. The kind driver lent her a phone. Daisy immediately called her ex-boyfriend and asked to meet him at a set location. On the bus, she noticed a missing person flyer with the first lady's number on it. Soon Daisy arrived at a supermarket as planned. Since she had no money, she traded her watch for a pack of sanitary pads. Sure enough, once the blood was gone, the knocking stopped. Daisy got dressed and stepped outside, but the next second,
Hello, sweetheart.
just as the man was about to attack, another kind passerby appeared.
Come on, just let her go.
Walk away.
The man told him to get lost, and the passerby ran away terrified. Then Daisy hurried to the meeting spot with her ex. He had been waiting for a while. As soon as she got in the car, she told him to drive. But the guy kept asking questions like a nagging mom. They all agreed to help her get revenge. Not long after, there was a knock on the door. Everyone grabbed a weapon, ready to face the psycho rich man.
Come on in, motherfucker.
Daisy hid in the bathtub out of fear. After a fierce fight, it suddenly went quiet outside. When Daisy went out to check, she found all her friends lying in blood, while the psycho stood unharmed. Clearly, they underestimated him. The man started dancing happily. She could never escape him. Then a speeding car ran the monster over. But strangely, the monster didn't die. He got up and stretched his limbs. Daisy remembered what the boss's wife said. The monster could smell her blood and used that to track her. Daisy took out her sanitary pad and threw it onto a car under the bridge. When the monster got up, he looked around the empty bridge, then walked in the wrong direction. Once he was gone, Daisy crawled out from hiding. She rushed to a bar, found a bottle of bleach in the bathroom, and wiped off all traces of blood, then changed into some discarded clothes, and called the first lady, because only she could help now. Then Daisy and the dog went to a bathhouse, where the first lady was already waiting. She told Daisy the monster was actually a werewolf, who could smell Daisy's scent anywhere, so no matter where she went, he would always find her. Before sunrise, they had to find a way to kill him, and Daisy was the bait. They had already prepared a plan. After careful setup, Daisy changed into clean clothes, and went to an amusement park. There, she smeared her blood on her clothes, and waited for the werewolf to arrive. Then the first lady pulled out a lighter, and finished off the monster, who had killed countless young women.